Hey, everybody, this is your daily Philcast, a daily prayer and affirmation podcast where we delve into the Word together. Um, I read you a devotional and I pray you guys out so you're able to start your day when they're in the right headspace here. Guys, we're going to go ahead and get into it here. Today's story is the Tower of Babel. Now the whole earth had one language and the same words. And as people migrated from the east, they found a plain in the desert of Shinar and settled there. And they had said to one another, "Come, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly." And they had bricks for stone and bitumen for mortar. And they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed over the face of the whole earth." And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of man had built. And the Lord said, "Behold, they are one people, and they have all one language. And this is only the beginning of what they will do. And nothing that they propose to do will now be impossible for them. Come, let us go down there and confuse their language, so that they may not understand one another's speech." So the Lord dispersed from them over the face of all the earth, and they left off building the city. Therefore the name was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord dispersed them over the face of the earth. And now we're going to get into some genealogy stuff here, guys, and try to pay really close attention to the years that I'm saying here, because you have to remember that God did say that humans were only going to live for 120 years after this point. So these are the descendants of Shem. When Shem was 100 years old, he fathered Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he fathered Arphaxad 500 years, and they had other sons and daughters. When Arphaxad lived 35 years, he fathered Shelah. And Arphaxad lived after he fathered Shelah 403 years, and had other sons and daughters. When Shelah had lived 30 years, he fathered Eber. And Shelah lived after he had fathered Eber 403 years, and had other sons and daughters. When Eber had lived 34 years, he fathered Peleg. And Eber lived after he fathered Peleg 430 years, and had other sons and daughters. When Peleg had lived 30 years, he fathered Reu. And Peleg lived after he fathered Reu 209 years, and had other sons and daughters. When Reu had lived 32 years, he fathered Sureg. And Reu lived after he fathered Sureg 207 years, and had other sons and daughters. When Sureg had lived 30 years, he fathered Nahor. And after Sureg lived, he fathered Nahor 200 years, and they had other sons and daughters. When Nahor had lived 29 years, he fathered Terah. And Nahor lived after he fathered Terah 119 years, and had other sons and daughters. When Terah had lived 70 years, he fathered Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah fathered Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran fathered Lot. Haran died in the presence of his father Terah, in the land of his kindred, in Ur of the Chaldeans. And Abram and Nahor took wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, and the father of Milcah and Iscah. Now Sarai was barren; she had no child. Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his grandson, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife. And they went together from Ur of the Chaldeans to go into the land of Canaan. But when they came into Haran, they settled there. The days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. So, like I said, guys, you have to remember that God did say during this, descendant stuff here, God had said that humans were only going to live for 120 years at that point. So that's the first thing I want to mention here. You have to remember that, guys, it didn't say anything about Noah being human. And in all likelihood, the world was very, very corrupted. So, I mean, it is very. God did say that Noah had righteousness still in him, still had godliness in him, and that's the reason that Noah was chosen to build the ark and for his descendants to survive. But having said that, I mean, it's very possible that Noah was not 100% human. Nephilim had corrupted the world. Nephilim and devils and stuff had corrupted, fallen angels had corrupted the world. So it looks like here, I mean, people were still living, 500, 400 years. It took, about 5 to 6 generations for that, that kind of super powered blood that was keeping people alive for so long to get, to kind of change into more human blood that we would know, kind of be more symbolic today. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about here. I think it's really, really interesting. Again, because of the subtext, it's not saying anything about humans really. It's not really dividing us in those kind of categories, but we have to, because we know now that we are human. But one of the really just kind of crazy things to think about here is just the Tower of Babel, just in general. I mean, the reason that God had to confuse our language was because we were trying to become gods. And from the sound of it here, guys, it is in our ability to elevate ourselves to that. And for his holy reason that we cannot understand, he does not want that. He does not want us to become godlike, because he loves us and he wants us to love him. And we need to be able to not have to strive for godhood, because it's not our place. It's not our place to strive for godhood, as much as we might want to, or not you individually, but just as much as humanity as a whole wants to. But guys, we're living in a world now where, I mean, language is not as much of a barrier as it used to be. Kaylee and I went to Pizza Hut the other day, and the guy who was in front of me in line was using Google Translate. He was speaking something. He was speaking something. I don't know what he was speaking, but I did not understand it. But he was just he was just saying what he needed to say, and then showing his phone to the cashier, and then she would just respond, and he would read what she said. So language isn't, guys, we're hitting a point where language is not becoming as much of a barrier as it used to be. Now we need devices to be able to do that, to be able to help us. We're not all linguists, and even then, we're very, very far away from technology getting to the point where we can just have different languages and talk to each other still. But we're getting there, and we're not meant to, which is it's really something to think about. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with being bilingual or anything. Of course not. That helps you in today's world with jobs, and it is a good thing. It is, a good thing that we're able to, communicate with each other like that, because it does bring us closer as people, right? But we do have to be careful with where that leads us, where that kind of technology leads us, because it is dangerous. So we're going to get into a devotional together now, and this devotional is based off of Psalm 139 verse 2, which is, "You know when I sit and when I rise, you perceive my thoughts from afar." I'm going to read it one more time, guys. "You know when I sit and when I rise, you perceive my thoughts from afar." The universe is astonishingly grand. The moon is spinning around us at nearly 2,300 miles an hour. Our Earth is spinning around the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. Our sun is one of 200 billion other stars and trillions more planets in our galaxy, and that is astounding. In comparison to this vast cosmos, our little Earth is no bigger than a pebble, and our individual lives no greater than a grain of sand. Yet according to Scripture, the God of the galaxies pays attention to each microscopic one of us in intimate detail. He saw us before we existed. He watches us as we go about our days and listens for our every thought. When King David wrote Psalm 139, he was in the midst of a crisis. And when Jesus said God counts each hair on our heads, he was living in an age of crucifixion. Biblical talk of God's caring attention isn't a naive wish. It is a real world truth. The one who keeps the galaxies spinning knows us intimately. He can help us get through the worst of times. I'm going to read this one more time, guys, because it's important for me to hear it too. Biblical talk of God's caring nature isn't a naive wish. It is a real world truth. The one who keeps the galaxy spinning knows us intimately, and that can help us get through the worst of times. I know some of you listening probably know that I am not going through a very good time right now. A couple of nights ago, I was very angry. I was angry at God, and I was angry at everything. And I know that it's not doing me any good being angry, because I don't think God, and I don't think the people that I'm angry at really deserve it. But I'm having to try to do something that is against my nature to do. And this is against my nature to do, just getting up and doing this podcast. I really don't want to be doing this right now, but I know that I need to. I need to get up and I need to read the word, and I just want to be doing the right thing. Guys, you are deserving of love. You are saved by grace. You are considerate. You are a blessing to those around you. You are not broken beyond repair. You are a child of God. You are kind. You are generous. You are faithful. You are loving. You are not a failure. You are forgiven. You are not a victim. You are a warrior. You are supported. You are stronger than Satan. He is so weak, and God is more. And you can be a vessel for love. And I am deserving of love. I am saved by grace. I am considerate. I am a blessing to those around me. I am not broken beyond repair. I am a child of God. I am kind. I am generous. I am faithful. I am loving. I am not a failure. I am forgiven. I am not a victim. I am a warrior. I am supported. I am stronger than Satan. He is so weak, and God is more. And I can be a vessel for love. Guys, I pray that as you go out into the world today, that you treat others with grace, and that grace is given to you. I pray that you don't try to understand things that you can't. And before you say the thing that you don't understand, you pray. You pray for some kind of guidance. I'm not guaranteeing to you that it's going to happen, that God's just going to give you that kind of understanding right away. But He doesn't work like that. He's not a genie who we're coming to grant wishes for us. He's your King. He is your King, and you are coming to Him in fealty and respect. So, God, I hope that you give us all the discernment to know to do that, to reserve judgment, because you're the real judge, and we're bad at it. We're bad at judging. Even when we're good at it, we're still bad at it. So, God, we need your understanding. We need your grace, because we don't have any. Thank you for the changes that you're making in our lives. Thank you for grace. Thank you for glory. We love you. Amen.